Surprise! Now get out before you become permanently rooted here.
A return to 2017 Spirit Halloween animatronics, ghoulies. On Tier List Tuesday, by request, this is the Voina experience. What's happening, ghoulies? Welcome back to the Voina experience. Thank you guys so much for joining us on Tier List Tuesday. Sorry that it's been a little bit sporadic with the videos lately, ghoulies. I've been a little under the weather and I'm still trying to get myself back to 100%, but it is Tier List Tuesday and we had a special request by none other than one of our ghoulie subscribers out there, Cameron Jude, has requested that we take a little trip back to the 2017 year of Spirit Halloween's animatronics and do a tier list ranking for you guys for them today. So that's what we're gonna do. Ghoulies, 2017 might arguably be one of the best seasons from Spirit Halloween. At least it's one of my favorites. And we've got a lot of great animatronics to rank. Now guys, if you go on Spirit's Fandom Wikia site, you will see that there is actually a huge list of animatronics that were released in 2017. However, some of them were maybe hanging things that just shook, or the jumping spider, or just something that wasn't, just little minor things, a swinging stuff like that. And for this particular tier list, ghoulies, because there were so many, for the sake of time, I had to limit the list to just the mainstream animatronics that were released in 2017. So if something was maybe not released in every store, or maybe it released, maybe it wasn't, I didn't count any of that. This is just gonna be the mainstream heavy animatronic releases from 2017. And we're gonna jump over to tiermaker.com right now, ghoulies, and start ranking our 2017 animatronics for you right now. And they are Creepy Towering Clown, Deadly Roots, Forest Demon, Hanging Hell Fiend, Menacing Molly, Sitting Scare Clown, Sitting Scare Crow, Tricycle Doll, Cryo Chamber Corpse, Electrified Corpse, Fenced In High Voltage Zombie, Levitator Girl, Toe Tagged Corpse, and Limb Ripper. All right, ghoulies, and here we are on tiermaker.com. You can see our standard awesome to no ranking, and down here are the 14 animatronics that we are gonna be ranking on this tier list. And let's get it going. Starting here, guys, with the Creepy Towering Clown. Now, you know that Creepy Towering Clown is one of my favorite animatronics. This was a huge, tall animatronic, guys, and is one of the ones that whenever you think of 2017, you're thinking of this guy because his sounds and his noises and his phrases were definitely heard throughout the entire store. Every time you walked into Spirit, it was that you could always hear Creepy Towering Clown, one of my favorites. I wish I would have gotten him, but never did. So guys, you know my feelings here is Creepy Towering Clown is gonna hit all the way at the top in the awesome tier, getting things started off just right for the 2017 tier list ranking with an awesome. Then that is going to bring us here to the Toe Tagged Corpse. Now this one was kind of interesting, ghoulies. It featured just, sort of a covered corpse that had its toes sticking out, and then it would rise up and rise back down. Nothing really incredibly awesome, but the cool thing about it is that it was interchangeable. You could put different things on. I think it had some different, like one of them was alien feet, and you had the biohazard blanket, or you could do just a regular human with the hospital gown over it. So that did give it kind of a different, it bumped it up a little bit. I can't really say it's an incredibly awesome animatronic, but I do like the fact that it is sort of customizable and you can do all kinds of things with it. So Toe Tag Corpse going right here in a like. Which then brings us to Levitator Girl. Now, ghoulies, Levitator Girl was a really cool animatronic. This was a prop that was covered up, featured a zombie demonic-looking girl, and then it creepily rose up off of the platform and lowered back down. And because it was covered, it gave the appearance of it actually levitating. Now guys, that is super cool. So I feel that out of everything, even though it didn't really have a lot of phrasing and all that, the sound effects though, and the fact that it actually looked like it was really levitating, for me, definitely makes Levitator Girl an awesome animatronic for sure. No ways about it, guys. All right, so then next here we have is Electrified Corpse. Guys, this was a really cool animatronic. It was sort of like a hanging upside down zombie looking dude wrapped in, electrical wiring, and he made electrified sound effects. He screamed, it shook. It was definitely really cool. And this is just something that, is monstrous and can be used in a lot of different themes. It's very versatile. So I definitely think, guys, that the Electrified Corpse is definitely one that needs to rank at the top. And you're going to find as we go through this list, Ghoulies, that a lot of these animatronics are probably going to rank in that awesome category because, as I said before, 2017 is, in my opinion at least, one of the best years. I'm not going to say it's the best. It's hard to say one all-time year. What year do you guys think was the best? Drop that down in the comments and maybe we'll take a look at that for a tier list ranking coming up. But then that brings us to the Cryo Chamber Corpse, Ghoulies. Now this, I believe, is a popular or a fan favorite Spirit Halloween animatronic. Featured a, corpse zombie-looking monster inside of a frozen cryo chamber. A lot of crazy sound effects, lights, and I believe it fogged. A lot of fog coming out of it, and then the corpse rises out. All kinds of cool stuff. This is a really cool animatronic, though, guys, because it had like all these different components. It was an animatronic. It had cool sound effects and, made all the noises. The lighting. This was something that if you're doing like an alien or some sort of a science lab, I mean, it's going to fit right in and definitely take the spotlight. And I believe this one was one that a lot of people really liked. So I, of course, also really enjoyed it. And it's definitely going to go right up here in the awesome section for us, Ghoulies, no doubt about it. So far, 2017 is hitting off awesome. Bringing us then next to Tricycle Doll. Guys, Tricycle Doll is certainly an interesting animatronic because ultimately it's not, very overwhelming. It's just it was a small animatronic. It didn't have like a whole huge, incredibly awesome design to it. It was just a creepy looking doll sitting on a trike. But guys, for some reason, when this thing was activated, those sound effects, it was just unnerving. It moved really weird and jerky, and I don't know if that was just the quality of the animatronic, but for some reason it worked. And the sound effects looked really weird. Her eyes lit up and was all possessed. And guys, you know me, like, possessed dolls really, they just get under my skin and they make me unnerved. And although she in particular is not like, when you compare her to everything, maybe not an incredibly awesome animatronic, but I'm gonna give her an awesome ranking just because of how much this animatronic unnerved me. And pretty much just how much you can do with it. I mean, you can set her on the porch, put her in a house display out in the garden. You can just put her in the middle of the street, and that just, oh man, it's creepy. She's definitely an awesome concept. Maybe her design's not so incredible, but I think the animatronic as a whole is pretty cool. Which then brings us to our sitting scare dudes. We've got the sitting scarecrow and the sitting scare clown. Now guys, I think for their time, these were both great, incredible animatronics. Sitting Scarecrow has been a little bit overdone and sort of beaten to a pulp, I kind of think. Every year we're getting, he's being re-released at a discounted price, and then last year we got the reskin of Scary Sitting Scarecrow, and I believe he's back this year again. And they're great jump scares, guys. Both of them are really great. My only thing is that it's, you can kind of see it coming because he's holding the bowl of candy, and obviously it's an animatronic, and the only thing you're going to do is reach in and grab the candy. And so it's obvious that he's going to jump up and scare you when you reach in for the candy. So in terms of it being an effective jump scare, I don't really know, because it seems like to me you can kind of predict it coming, which would then take away from the jump scare. But for their first year of release, Sitting Scarecrow was pretty cool. Definitely a creepy looking animatronic, and can be used even as a static prop, just as a decoration. Just slumped over a scarecrow sitting there. It's pretty cool. So, I mean, I'm not going to go as far as to say it's an awesome animatronic, but I do like the Sitting Scarecrow for what it is. I know a lot of people have it, and it is a great way to scare trick-or-treaters. And likewise, Ghoulies, for the Sitting Scare Clown, I do love clowns. And you would probably think that I would bump it up to an awesome tier just because it's a clown, but no, I'm gonna keep it in the like just as much as Sitting Scarecrow, because, essentially, as I said, it's the same thing. You can kind of see it coming, and although it is effective, I feel like it's just, there's nothing else to it. You know what I mean? It's pretty plateaued. Which then, Ghoulies, brings us to Menacing Molly. And we have ranked Menacing Molly on a tier list a couple different times now, Ghoulies. And every single time, I'm pretty confident that she always is going to hit that same level of ranking, because this was a cool animatronic. She's looking cool. I don't particularly care too much for swinging animatronics, but this one definitely stood apart from the others because she does have a creepy swing. She does have creepy phrases. She even looks a little bit like Wednesday Addams. So at the time, it was kind of like a way to cheat and get a Wednesday Addams animatronic. But then her jump scare was really awesome, guys, because she doesn't like come forward. She comes backwards, you know, and just completely creeps you out with her distorting body. And there's some sound effects there, I think, of her back breaking or whatever. But yeah, Menacing Molly is definitely a very awesome animatronic. She always has been a fan favorite. Everybody seems to like her, and I am no different. Which then brings us to Limb Ripper, the 2017 release of Limb Ripper, Ghoulies. Now, this animatronic is interesting because ultimately, as many werewolf animatronics, it doesn't really do much. You know, you can't have many phrases with it. Just sort of essentially just stands there and snarls and makes creepy sound effects. But guys, I think that the points are going to go on to like the detail and like the design and the overall look of it. And yeah, this is a cool animatronic, guys. His face is creepy. The clothes are all bloodied and gross looking, and it has really amazing sound effects. So I'm going to go ahead and say, like, I'm not going to put it as a complete awesome tier ranking because it is limited in what it can do. You know, it essentially just stands there and snarls. So like, it's not awesome when compared to some of these other ones, but I do think that Limb Ripper is one that we can say gets a second tier for sure, especially as a werewolf prop. It was like, you know, it's scary. It really is. So I definitely think that it deserves up there for sure. All right, Ghoulies, so then that brings us up to the Forest Demon. Now, okay, so, and it looks like a devil, and it says some phrases, and ultimately, guys, you know, okay, you know, it's a classic looking prop, so I definitely dig that. I just don't think that it was very, you know, stimulating when compared to some of these other animatronics that came out in 2017. It didn't really offer too much for me in terms of, you know, it had a cool little jump scare to it, but it wasn't like an intense jump scare. It was just sort of like, hey, there's a scare. And then it said some phrases and that was it. And then it was just sort of meh. So like, I don't hate it, you know, but it's not one that we've got so many other ones in the 2017 era that were just far superior that it's okay, it's cool. The fact that it's vintage looking bumped it up a little bit out of that no box, but wasn't a huge fan. Okay, Ghoulies, so then that brings us to Hanging Hell Fiend. Now, this one, I think out of all of the 2017 releases that year, this one, it was kind of, lame, for the lack of a better term. You know, first we start off with just the classic Grim Reaper look, and although I am a fan of the classics, obviously, and of the Grim Reapers and of Jack Reapers, and all the Reapers are very cool, but, you know, it just, again, we're starting off with just a basic Reaper design. It hangs there, it doesn't really do much, and I'm going to tell you what really brought it down, though, for me, Ghoulies, was the voice and the phrasing. The Hanging Hell Fiend had a very cartoonish, almost child, I mean, it was not scary at all. It was comical. So if if that's your thing, that's fine. But I think that in terms of like when you compare it to the other animatronics, this was not one that I cared for. The phrases were not good. The voice I did not like, and it was just kind of a meh animatronic. It didn't really do much. So I think that in terms of this particular ranking here, Ghoulies, that the Hanging Hell Fiend is the one from 2017 that I'm gonna have to drop into that no section, just because like there's nothing about it that I liked. I'm sorry, it was just not very good. So then we've got our final two here, Ghoulies, and this one here, Deadly Roots. Wow, this was an incredibly unique animatronic, you guys. It is a tree that's possessed and comes to life, has really awesome phrases, has an awesome sound effects, has a great voice, has cool jump scare movement with its hands coming out and trying to grab you. Guys, this was a cool animatronic and really fits pretty much to any theme that you want to do, because you know, you can set him outside pretty much anywhere. Put him next to a tree, and as they're walking through your haunt, it's just some random possessed tree that comes to life. I love it, guys. This was cool, different. I like different. And for animatronics that you get, you know, sort of redesigns. I mean, we got hundreds of clowns, hundreds of reapers, hundreds of this, hundreds of that. But like a possessed tree, very cool, very unique. And you know what, guys? You know that means I'm gonna put it right up here as an awesome animatronic because it is definitely awesome. Loved Deadly Roots. Kind of wish they would bring Deadly Roots back. Do you think they ever will? Drop in the comments if you think one day we'll see him again. Last but not least, ghoulies, here we have our fenced-in high-voltage zombie right here. Fenced-in zombie. Now, this is cool, guys. I like the concept of this, that you have this sort of caged-in zombie, and this is an animatronic design that you see in a lot of professional haunts, where they've got an electrified corpse thing behind a cage and it's shaken. And this was sort of Spirit's retail answer to that demand, was that you have this zombie with some electrified wires going through its head, hanging on to a fence and just being electrocuted. Kind of goes hand in hand with the electrified corpse. So if you have those two together in a scene, that would be really cool. My only thing with it though, ghoulies, is that the motion of it seemed to be a little bit slow and underwhelming for being an electrified fence. And I realized that they have to keep costs down, so they probably couldn't make it as fast as they wanted. But I feel like that would have given that animatronic just a bump up, because like it is a cool animatronic, but I felt that the electrified corpse was just slightly shakier and a little more realistic in the electrification part. So because of that, I did put fenced in corpse guy here, fenced in high voltage zombie, just as a like right beneath electrified corpse, because I think that, as I said, the electrified was just a little bit better. But I definitely love the fenced-in zombie for sure, because it's just one that everybody likes. And like, as I said, it's in a lot of haunts. I don't know if that particular animatronic is in a lot of haunts, but styles of that animatronic are in a lot of professional haunts. So it's obviously one that people enjoy. Well, there you have it, ghoulies. There is the official tier list ranking of the 2017 mainstream animatronics. And once again, Spirit Halloween sitting on top with mostly awesome. And we got a lot up here in the like. So you got a lot of the animatronics hitting in the top 2 tiers and only just 2 down in the bottom 2. So ultimately, ghoulies, I feel that we can safely say that 2017 was an excellent year for animatronics, and I definitely want to see a lot of these animatronics brought back sometime soon. But what do you think, ghoulies? Drop us a comment. What was your favorite animatronic from the 2017 era? Let us know. We love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, ghoulies. Make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button, turning on your notifications so that way you don't miss any future videos. Stay spooky, and until next time, we'll catch you later, ghoulies.